Welcome, Cancers. We're going to be talking about the usual, right? The changes that happen in this month for you. And with each change, you're also going to get a card. Yes, a new deck of cards. Well, new for you guys. But before I get into all that, I want to just make a quick mention that if you have not seen the February changes video, I believe that's what it's called. I'll put a picture of it right here somewhere. It gives you the overarching, the overall energies of February, because like 5 planets change signs. They actually move into a different sign. And that's a big deal because whenever that happens, whether you're aware of it or not, our bodies are aware of it. Things happen and we all of a sudden feel different about something or someone, or we think differently about something or someone, right? Or we're changing our mind because when things move up there, things move here and here. Okay. So watching that video, it's like a 10-minute video. It'll give you a more complete picture of what to expect for the month of February. Okay. So let's start off with the beginning of February around the 5th. Okay. It is a fun energy. It's Leo energy. It's a Leo full moon, right? Now, Leos can be a little theatrical, right? They can even be dramatic at times. But Leo energy is about creativity. It is about how you shine, how you radiate, how you uniquely show us who you are, right? So I've been saying it is that thing you do that makes you you. That is Leo energy. Colorful, courageous, inspiring, positive, and optimistic. Leo energy can be quite beautiful. The only thing that Leos have to remember, or anybody, we all have Leo energy somewhere in our life. So wherever you can like if you can see your chart and you see where it is, then you know it's that area for you, right? Where you kind of like really go out there, because Leo is the comedian. Yeah, Leos are comedians, they're performers, they can be politicians, they can be like gymnasts, because Leo energy is very physical. So, but they do it in a creative way. So it's a creative form of being physical. So we think of dance, we think of gymnastics, right? There are even people who do art, like with paint and stuff, and it's called performance art. Like you got to be very, like they're hauling and slapping and just, very physical artists, right? So that makes me think of the Leo energy in a really physically creative way. What's another example? Well, I'm going to give you some keywords for Leo energy, because this first event is a release and a let go. It's a completion. It's a Leo full moon. All right. Now, for those of you that pay attention to the degrees, this is at 16 degrees and 40 minutes. All right. 16 degrees and 40. Cancer energy. This is in your second house. This is your values, who you value and what you value. So you're letting go and releasing something or somebody. Now, this can look really simple. This can be something as simple as things that you valued that you used to do for fun, because some of the Leo keywords: fun, children, romance, joy, creativity, dating, mating, relating, right? Dancing, right? All that Leo stuff I talked about. How are they creatively physical, yet having a good time? Leo energy. Leo is they shine, man. They radiate. They radiate. And if they radiate too much, right? If people get too close, if they're not aware of their power and the way their light is shining, I mean, it can burn people sometimes, right? And some Leos, they're having a good time. This makes me think of Chris Rock. Remember? We all remember the Chris Rock, Will Smith shit, right? So Chris Rock was doing his job. He was on stage being a comedian, right? But to somebody else in the audience, Will Smith, he felt like Chris Rock burned him, like he went right after him when he mentioned, I don't even remember what he said anymore, and I don't even want to know. I just remember how, I remember Will Smith's response or reaction. That's what I remember. So Leo energy has to maybe sometimes be careful. And that happens with comedians all the time, right? They say stuff and then people get down on them because it's like, "Oh, that was so out of place. That was so out of order. How dare you say something?" And it's like, I'm a comedian, like that's my job, you know? And so that's Leo energy. Can be great performers, stage, screen, theater. Remember, performances. So, yes, these are actors and these are also politicians. Yeah, they have a lot in common with Pisces energy. Yes. So, as your release of your values, you could be really like letting go something you used to do that you thought was fun, something you thought was funny, or a performer that you thought was funny, whatever activity you did that you had a good time, something you used to do when you were a kid, possibly. This can also be releasing things, releasing anything that has to do with art, because it's Leo, and creating, right? Leo, creating, sun and moon energy, because we're having a full moon in the sign of Leo. So it's weird because normally the sun and the moon for a full moon are opposite of each other. But this one is still the sun and the moon opposite, but because it's Leo, the sun rules Leo and it's a full moon. So it's like the sun and the moon are going to be together for this full moon. So what's fascinating is that for me, this is definitely a full moon where it's like a door is closing or you're closing a chapter on the book, you're ending and completing something, but it's to open the other doors. It's to make room for more. Yeah, one door closes and like three of them open, right? So this is a kind of an ending. You just kind of want to follow the flow, right? So you may be releasing some values. And so for some people, that may simply be, I don't need 3,000 of these. I'm letting it go, right? It could easily be that. It could be these values that I have. I have a friend, a YouTube neighbor, Sheila in Korea. She just went through a bunch of purging herself. She just unloaded a whole bunch of stuff. And she's like, this is my New Year's resolution. I don't need a backup and a backup and a backup and a backup of, I don't need 300 belts, or I don't need 30, 40 pairs of shoes. I don't know what it was exactly. I can't remember. But she was just saying she has too much stuff because she values these things, right? So that was just an example. You could be releasing something, right? So let's pull a card to get more clarity on what this release is for you. Now, that second house, just so you know, because it's values, for some people, the second house shows up as an income for them. So there might be a little bit of that in there for you. You may be releasing and letting go of, some people would be like, I'm quitting my job. That used to be a value for me. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done. So some people, that may be a chapter of their life they are closing the Leo book on. Absolutely. It's a beautiful card. It says to be true to your heart. So this releasing and this ending is going to align more with your Leo energy, because it says be true to your heart. So is this romance? Is this love? Are you releasing a love? Are you releasing your partner? Are you releasing somebody or something that you once desired? It's saying to be true to your heart. So possibly you're with somebody, and it could be a thing, it could be a job, it could be whatever it is that you value, that you're somehow realizing, even though you had a desire for it and you did value it, there's something you have to let go in order for you to be true to your heart. Look at all the animals. We've got so much flight, so much air, which is knowledge, which is talking and communication. Look at the water. Yeah, look at all the water energy on this card. This is such a beautiful card. We've got pirate ships on this card. Oh, I love it. It's got a very old-fashioned feeling to it. We have hummingbirds, but you see the music box on here? Or what is that called? What is that called? You see the thing, that the record player with the big old, I forget what those are called. Anyway, this is a very old school card. There's something about being true to your heart, but it's tying in the past. There's something about the past here that this card is connecting you with. And she's holding what looks to be gems and jewels, almost like diamonds, and they're exploding with color. And hummingbirds are about laughter and freedom and flight. That's what hummingbirds are. They bring joy. That's what hummers are known for. And so there's something here, and it's telling you to release and let go whatever it is that you value, so you can be true to your heart. Now, see what she's holding in her hand, I would say, is diamonds. And it's like Okay, so there's a material thing that you value because that would be diamonds, but yet being true to her heart, it's usually the things that we can't really hold in our hand that are of the greatest value, and that kinda is what that card is representing. You can't hummingbirds, what's beautiful about them is their freedom, their ability to buzz around and have fun, and they bring you joy just watching them, right? And look at all the beautiful colors and the flowers. That's even like peacock feathers on here. It is. Wow, this is a really amazing card. Let me know what this means for you. It's your values. What are you releasing? What are you letting go? This card is saying it's going to open you up even more and being more honoring your heart's desire. Second house, your desire. Honoring your heart's desire. Be true to your heart. Now we're going to move on to the month, third week in the month of February, the third week around the 20th. Yeah, February 20th, a new beginning, right? This is a new beginning. And I love this beginning because it's Pisces. And I am such a sucker for Pisces energy. It's water, it's the ocean, it's fantasy, it's meditation, it's prayer, it's sci-fi, it's divine 5D energy, right? It's praying to your creator, right? And it's saying, yeah, you're there. I know you're there. I know you exist. Kumbaya, hear me, oh Lord, type of thing. And it's also peace. Pisces is peace and it's surrender. When somebody waves that white flag, that's Pisces energy. Waving the flag, waving the white flag is Pisces. Pisces wants unity. They say, you know what? Let's make peace. Let's make love, not war. Like that is so Pisces energy. It's also music. Pisces energy, music. Yeah. Pisces and Leo have a lot in common, right? They're both very, very creative. All right. But that ending you had, and because it had like the new moon vibe to it, here we go with the new moon right after, a couple weeks later in Pisces, really creative. Imagination, Pisces. It's the imagination. It's your imagination. And that card that you just had, wow, it was like follow your heart, right? So for Cancer energy, you've got Pisces in the ninth house, right? And so when I'm looking and thinking about that, that's a pretty darn powerful place to have that, meaning you would have, you're highly intuitive. Okay. There's a lot of information that comes through because it's just in a placement of talking to God. It's a placement of talking to the cosmos, talking to the creator. It's a placement of basically hearing things that others don't hear, feeling things that others don't feel, because Pisces is highly sensitive. It just knows stuff. It just knows shit. And you've got it in the ninth house, which is the house of seeing into the future. The ninth house is the house of the sage. It can see the forest for the trees. It understands society and the inner workings of society and how all those, it understands the backup perspective, like being far away and understanding the systems within the systems within the forms, and how all that works, right? It may not know the detailed part of it, but it gets the big picture and even has the foresight. It is prophetic at times, prophetic, right? So this is a new beginning. And for some folks, it's like they can get downloads of information from the cosmos, from God, from the universe, from creator, from Allah, from deity, from Yahweh, whatever that is for you. Okay. It's the house of publishing as well, meaning that information that you have, that you get those downloads, like you could publish that stuff, And so whether that's writing a book or vlogging it or YouTubing it, you know what I mean? It's a placement of a new beginning, and it's at near the 0 degree mark. By the way, I didn't even mention that yet. It's at 122, and in the sign of Pisces, an extremely creative beginning. Remember, this is belief and prayer, and it's in the house of the ninth house, which is religion, which is spirituality. So this is a really nice placement to have this. It doesn't mean that you have to be like a priest or a nun, or that you need to belong to a church or a religion. It's just saying that you understand the connectivity of all the religions, right? And that's why spirituality actually, it's not that it's better. It's just that it encompasses all the religions. Spirituality encompasses all the religions, right? It does. And you have that wisdom, you know that. The ninth house means lots of things, okay? It's not just about the future and about spirituality and religion, but it's about your beliefs, what you believe in, which is telling me your beliefs are changing. You're going to be incorporating a new belief, and it's probably going to have to do with traveling long distances. Yeah. So for some folks, they get in their car and they drive long distances. By the way, that's the ninth house. It's if I'm in a car traveling, I'm going coast to coast. I'm driving far, or I'm getting on an airplane and I'm traveling. Ninth house is kind of like that Pisces energy. It's on the other side of the world. It's across the ocean. Like that's Pisces energy. Okay. So traveling, it's also going to school. Yeah. It's higher education. So it's like college level education or extended education. So for wherever you are at, you could just be taking like weekend classes somewhere or online classes, even. This is that. Yeah. So teaching, yep. This is the house of the teacher and also the house of the preacher. Ninth house, teacher and preacher. You have got the most beautiful cards so far. Look at the colors. Look at the head. Your intuitions are going to be amped up. That's the ninth house. Intuitions, speaking to God. Remember I said that? And being prophetic, knowing the future. That's all part of intuition energy. This is such a powerful card. It's you just know shit. Remember I said that about Pisces, right? So this card tells us that if you have time alone in nature, and even if you can't be in nature, maybe you meditate, maybe you spend time writing or creating. Anytime we're in a creative mode, we are using the same side of the brain that the intuition comes through on. The imagination is the imagination. And that's the same area where intuitions come through. Okay. Where we literally see these things in our mind's eye, those images, intuition. And this is saying, yeah, this is saying this is going to get amped up. So you could talk to dead loved ones. That means you could channel the high masters if this is something you want. You don't have to take it that route necessarily. You could be the spiritual teacher, the preacher. You could take it however you want to take it. You could just, channel it all into positive and optimistic vlogging, blogging, writing, something creative, but something where you are sharing wisdom and knowledge. Okay. Wisdom and knowledge. And according to this card, your intuitions. Now, the numerology on your card represents that this is your soul's history. Your soul has history doing this. The switch just hasn't been turned on, meaning it's not that you're not doing it already. It's saying that it's going to be amped up. It'll be more obvious. So I just said the switch will be turned on. It's always been there. It just lays latent in all of us. But at this time, you are going to kicking it up a notch. Your intuitions, listening to the voice of the silence. Happy February 2023, Cancer. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.